I'd like to take a moment to thank Anara, who is sponsoring today's video. Anara provides a centralized and well-organized workspace that helps over 2 million researchers and students stay on top of their work. Chat with Anara to get clear and to-the-point summaries that answer your exact questions. To ensure accuracy, every response is directly linked to segments of your document, or timestamps if you're using videos, and you can verify this with one simple click. I typically customize my Anara to the Claude 4 Sonnet model, and I remove the word limit so that I can get detailed responses with big ideas. Use your library to organize all of your content. Upload research materials from a variety of formats or directly from websites using the URL. If you use Zotero as your reference manager like I do, then you can add an integration to import your PDFs directly to the Anara library, where you can annotate, save, and filter your comments for later. This really helps me to keep track of all my thoughts while I'm reading, and also to make note of any good ideas that I have. By sorting your library into folders, Anara can provide insight using multiple sources at once. This really helps to develop a comprehensive understanding of your topic. You can also easily find other relevant papers that are connected to your document by using the Related tab. Try out Anara today for free, or use code LEAH20 for a 20% discount on your premium subscription. Thanks again to Anara. Good morning. I ran out of milk, so I hope this isn't too strong. It's okay. It's okay. I once again feel like it's been so long since I've spoken to the camera, but I really want to just talk about like what I've been up to this week. So first of all, I think I mentioned in my last video that I was a bit under the weather, and although I physically feel much better now, I still have like some symptoms, like my throat is still a little bit sore. At this point it's been like 3 weeks, and I've also still got some sniffles and stuff like that, but I do feel completely fine, so that's good. Although I have been filming every day, I feel like because I've not been speaking to the camera, there's not much of like a story going on. Yeah, after I got better, I started going back to the lab, and honestly in my head I was done with my project. I thought there's absolutely no way that I will be able to do the remaining experiments I wanted. And I don't know if I've spoken about this, but basically I do cellular work, so I have to keep a flask of cells essentially in an incubator, and I have to keep them alive. You kind of like feed them, and they proliferate, and then you split the population and stuff like that. And so that was all going completely fine for literally like 3 consecutive months. I had absolutely no issues with my cells, and this is like my first time doing cell culture, so I was a bit worried that, you know, I'd have some issues, but it was literally going fine. So I didn't expect to get any issues like that far into my project, considering like absolutely nothing had changed. But my cells suddenly just like all started to die, and we ruled out like all possible issues like contamination, literally replaced all the stuff I was using, changed all the filters for the pipettes, like cleaned out the incubator. We even had like the hoods fumigated, and the hood is like this sterile environment you work in. So literally everything possible that could have been causing a contamination was ruled out. We realised in the end that the issue was with the flasks I was using, and like not anything I was doing. There was one day where my supervisor had to come and watch me just to like, you know, make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong, and that was really nerve-wracking, you know. He just had to sit there and like watch me do this kind of lengthy process, like takes about an hour and a half. And when he said like it wasn't me, I didn't do anything wrong, and that was a relief, because it was a very frustrating month. I think it was more like 7 weeks of literally not being able to do any experiments. And if you don't know about like cell culture and stuff, you can basically freeze the cells in liquid nitrogen, and then when you thaw them they are like alive again. So I think that's really interesting. But we thawed so many different vials of cells and nothing was helping, and it was just so frustrating because I was like, why has it been working and now it's not? But yeah, it was the flasks. And so a couple of days after we figure out that was it and we start getting my cells going again, that's when I got sick. And so I've missed like a massive chunk of this project, like almost 2 months without any new results, which is like very frustrating and annoying. But then I came back and everyone had kindly like been looking after my cells for me. They'd been expanding them, which is just like increasing the population across many flasks. So I had loads to work with, and I managed to start up some new experiments, which I'm really happy about, because although I have been doing a lot of lab work, a lot of it has been the same over and over again, just with different conditions. Like I'm doing exposures of my cells to environmental pollutants, and I'm using so many different pollutants of different concentrations, and for each of them I'm doing it for 5 time points. So you can imagine like there's a lot of data I need to collect, and so that took me a really long time. But now I've moved on and I've started collecting cell lysates for my PCR. So basically I disrupt the cell membrane by lysing it. I collect all of those samples. I do RNA extraction, and then I convert the RNA into cDNA, and then I use like different primers and stuff to do PCR. And I don't know if that will make sense to many people, but if you get it, you know. And so basically I'm looking at which genes are like expressed in my samples, and if they are more expressed or less expressed, and how this changes across the time frames and different concentrations. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. I've done some RNA extraction, I've validated my primers to just like make sure they work, and I've done some cDNA extraction, but we don't actually currently have enough of the RNA extraction kits for me to finish, so that's what I'm waiting for now. Because basically the way this experiment works and the way I've like decided to do it is that I need all of my samples before I begin. I can't do like some of the experiments now on the ones I already have. The way it will work is that I need all of the samples on one plate to test each gene. Now that all of that sciencey talk is out the way, yeah, I'm just waiting on that, but everyone in my lab has been so incredibly helpful, and I am so grateful, because I really could not have like gotten the amount of stuff done I have in the last 2 weeks without their help and like guidance, because obviously for me this is still pretty new, and when I have questions I'm now like, I'm not afraid anymore of sounding really stupid. Like I will just say like, what do you even mean by that, or like why do we do that and stuff. But yeah, now my experiments are basically on hold, I guess, until I get these extra supplies to finish the RNA extraction. But that is okay, because I'm actually going away tomorrow morning to Wimbledon, or to London I should say, and then Wimbledon for one day, and I'm so excited. I'm back. I just had a break to eat my stone cold bagel. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm going to London. I'm really excited. I'm going with my boyfriend, I don't know if I mentioned. Have a break. I feel like I've been working pretty much like every day for the last few weeks. Like I come in the lab on weekends for a few hours, and then I sit there and I write my thesis from the lab. Yeah, it's going okay, I think. Other than like being a bit stressed, it's going okay. Thesis, going okay. I've got some figures. I actually had quite a big day yesterday, which I guess is like the final thing I tell you about before I start today. So I had to present my research so far in front of like the whole lab. We did it in a lecture theatre. There was like 20 people there in person, and then also a few people on Zoom. More than presenting, I was afraid of the questions, because I thought I don't want to embarrass myself in front of all these people getting asked, you know, like a relatively simple question and not being able to answer it because I'm a bit overwhelmed. But I literally had nothing to worry about. I presented. It was completely fine. Like normally in the past when I've had to do like a big presentation, my voice is shaky and I know it, and I feel my heart racing, and I'm think I'm visibly stressed out, and even the days leading up to it I feel just awful, like beside myself. And this time I didn't really have much time to prepare the presentation in the first place, because I'd been working on my thesis so much. I kind of left it, I pushed it aside to the last minute, and then literally the day before I started putting together my slides and thinking of what I wanted to say. I did not practice out loud once, which is very bad. I should have been practicing, you know, calling someone to practice or doing it in the lab, but I honestly just felt like it's too late now to get feedback and change stuff. If someone tells me, oh, you shouldn't say that, but I've already decided in my head I'm going to say it today, then I'm not going to be able to change it. It's just going to confuse me. So I said, no, I don't want to run through it. Just like look at my slides and tell me if there's anything visibly awful about them. And also, I had, as you know, not practiced, but I'd written in the notes section on PowerPoint kind of like bullet points of the points I wanted to go over, and I thought it's okay, I can just rely on those. No, the PC in the lecture theatre is so ancient that there's no presenter mode on it, and so I had no notes the whole time, which was obviously, at first I was like, oh god, like what am I gonna do, there's no notes. But then I thought, I'm in front of everyone right now, I can't change this, so I just have to do it. And so I just did it, and it was literally fine. and I didn't feel nervous at all. Like the moment I started talking, I think I was so focused on remembering what I wanted to say that I just didn't even feel nervous. And it went literally fine. I didn't forget any important points. I went over all my data. I interpreted it pretty much exactly how I would have with the notes. And then in the end I had some questions and I answered them all. Honestly, I sat down and I just felt so relieved. I felt like, oh my god, I did that and it was not that bad. You know, beforehand I was a bit scared, but as I did it, I was like, oh my god. I literally felt so relaxed and I've never experienced that before, so it made me really happy, and I'm still feeling it right now, like just overjoyed. Even if I would have messed up, I'd still be here right now, you know? It's only like a tiny amount of time in your day. It doesn't matter, it's fine. Also yesterday I had 2 meetings, one of which was with my academic advisor, and he provided some feedback on my figures for my thesis, and so I have some changes I need to make just regarding like how I present my data, which was annoying that I couldn't change those things before my presentation because one of the PIs made the same comment at the presentation, and I was like, I only found out about this thing like 2 hours ago and I couldn't change like all 16 of my graphs. So yeah, frustrating, but it's fine. And then after my presentation I had to go straight away, had a Zoom meeting with Notion because we're actually planning an event in Manchester, and I'm not sure if the details will be announced yet by the time this video goes up. If they are, I'll leave like a comment or something, but I'll probably talk about it next time because I've been talking for like half an hour now. But basically we're gonna host an event for people that are interested in Notion or use Notion, and it's still in the planning phases, but it will be end of July. So very exciting. We've been having a few meetings to plan that. I am presenting as well at the Notion event, and so knowing that yesterday I presented my research, I have to present my research again in like 3 weeks, and then 2 days after that I'm presenting at the Notion event. So it's just like all that stress is just gone because of yesterday knowing it was fine. I'm so glad. I literally do think that this master's year has been the best year for me in terms of like maturing and growing confidence, and also like managing my mental health. I've been much less like negative and focused on the bad stuff, I feel like, and I'm not sure if it's like a different environment or just because I'm really busy and I don't have time to overthink, but I think it's really helped me see this like other type of life I can have where I'm not super anxious and afraid of change and like feeling isolated, and I can make friends and I can meet new people and it's not a bad thing. I'm currently just feeling really thankful and really glad that I've come here because I feel like I've changed so much. Yeah, it's been so good, and I'm really sad it's coming to an end and I've not found like a PhD or a job in Manchester yet, so I'm a bit like, no. But it's okay, you know, hopefully I'll find something right for me, and I kind of just know that I'll find myself somewhere and I will be doing the right thing, so I'm not even stressed. But gotta keep looking for PhDs and stuff because I'm definitely now very interested in doing research. I think it's a very fun thing, and all the PhD students in my lab are like, don't do the PhD, it's so stressful. But I'm like, I still think it would be worth it because I think getting really into a subject is kind of what I like. I like to learn a lot about one thing, and I think being able to plan all my experiments and stuff like that for 3.5 years will be amazing. So yeah, I'm on the lookout. I'm gonna stop talking now and go, and I want to work on editing this video. I've already edited one video this morning and it's been approved. Hallelujah. So yeah, let's get started with our beautiful day.